This is a First Alert Weather special report.
Afternoon, everybody. John Elliott with a First Alert Weather update on this First Alert Weather day for a reason. Another round of heavy rain in the works. That will just increase and intensify the risk of flooding. We've seen some big ponding already, and then the wind is going to intensify as well. Look at this. I mean, it's just this almost training rain for Suffolk County, and look at how much more available moisture. See these bands of rain through parts of Orange, and then I'm concerned about this line that's going to bring in, and it's going to ride the wings of this really gusty wind this afternoon, and behind it, it pulls in very cold air. This is a very dynamic situation. I know you've got lots to do, but we could add another 2 inches to the 2 inches that have already fallen. So we're going to see east of the city a 4-inch total. That's why we're concerned about flash flooding. And again, that's that rapid rise of water. Turn around, don't drown, all the common sense steps you know you need to take, but it really slows you down behind the wheel. I mean, since Monday, wow, already 2 inches. So during the course of the week, you're going to add 2 inches of that to that. So that's where you're going to see these big totals. And then don't forget, with the wind comes the risk of an isolated severe storm at 58-mile-an-hour winds. That's why the National Weather Service here in our area and through parts of New England have issued these warnings for winds that could approach or exceed 60 miles an hour. Power outages are a concern, and then the cold. We'll be talking about it. We'll have updates right here. Of course, Lonnie will have a full forecast coming up at 5, but please, let's be safe to get through this storm together.
This has been a First Alert Weather special report.
Hey everybody, it's the magic of streaming. We get to spend a little bit more time here, and I want to review what we've been talking about all day. It's a First Alert Weather Day. Why? Well, the weather definitely impacting your ability to get places on time safely. Flooding possible? Yes. Wind? That's going to intensify. We can walk through some of the model data in just a bit. Wow, look at this though. So I was just outside and it feels great. I mean, it feels great. It's 60 degrees. You know, if it's not raining, this feels like a delightful December day, but it is a deceiving December day. First concerns for Riverhead, points north and south, Twin Forks, and then more for central Suffolk. You're just going to see this just fill in. That's why we're concerned about flooding. Any kind of poor drainage there will just exacerbate this. Through parts of Orange, Passaic, and Bergen, that's going to spin into Rockland. There's another line that we're watching, which is out of our area, but this holds together, races through, could impact central South Jersey. And, you know, Monmouth Ocean, you're going to see this. This is all just going to ride up. And the timing is not going to be great. Just the mechanics. Area low pressure, okay? And you see how this, the red, the blue, so it's somewhat stalled. All that warm air is trying to hold things up, but it's also driving things up into the atmosphere. So you've got so much moisture overhead. Well, where's it going to go? Your yard. Behind it, though, it's going to pull in all of this cold air, very cold air. So the wind chills, I remember how I said it feels like 60, 65. It's going to feel like 25 tomorrow morning. We've been tracking. Look, I'll show you some of the totals in a second. I just want to point out this is additional rain. This would be additional rain. So your week has been wet. Now you're going to add an additional 1 to 2 inches east of the city. That's why we're concerned about flash flooding. There's going to be a lot of nuisance flooding, but the concern for safety behind the wheel is flash flooding. So be mindful of that. And I know TikTok, we're into after school period now, but boy, that commute's going to be challenging. So remember, that's 2 inches on top of the almost 2 inches that have already fallen. And you do see these bigger numbers are off to the east. Central Park right now is at 78. You know, I believe we have a live shot coming in, not from Central Park, but from Times Square. And you can see when the rain, I mean, if you've got like Steve Austin eyes, you can see there aren't many umbrellas up. It's just the bright lights of the big city. I got to tell you, People on the street are loving it because we're in a dry slot here, but the problem is the wind is just going to push through, so it is going to slow you down. If timing is crucial, tickets to a show or an appointment or just meeting somebody, kids after school or whatnot, you have to factor in a little extra time. Just that said, the National Weather Service also has part of our area under the risk of severe weather. Now, this has moved. This line has moved. Obviously, this is a dynamic situation, so that means it is going to change. But the concern would be maybe that rumble, maybe a flash, but more vexing is going to be the wind. Wind is going to be a real issue. And you can clearly see where the focus of the wind will be. It's going to be in the city and points east. City, always with the friction and the layout of the grid. That's why here on the west side, man, when this thing really gets cranking tonight, wow, we're going to feel it. You know, where you're spared some of that, you get a little bit of a break, but the wind is also going to bring in the cool air. So if the models want to hold that line together, and then by 8, they still have quite a bit more rain. There may not be as many organized heavy cells, but this is 8:30 at night. Wait a minute, it's snowing? Yes. It's pouring rain and almost 60 at 8 o'clock at night for central Suffolk. Sussex, it's 38. Oh, and if you have snow like at 35 degrees, it's big flakes. So that's going to be that transition snow, the really messy, wet snow. And then we do need the wind because we got to blow away the wet so we don't have as many slippery surfaces. See what I mean? There's a lot to factor in. Then we just continue to blow it out. I just want to, wow, the European is cranking out some pretty, it's not only that the gusts are 25, 30, but they're so widespread, and then they're going to intensify overnight. So that's why we're concerned about power outages, too. I know it's a lot to digest. That's why we'll be here. And on the flip side, the broadcast side, to keep you up to date. But just factor in extra time. It is a first alert weather day to make sure that you get there safe.
This has been a First Alert Weather Special Report.